So, lads, today we got to talk about something that I think is absolutely embarrassing. I think this might be one of the lower points in the WNBA over the last number of years, and it is the fact that, those really bad referees? Those really bad referees from the Minnesota Lynx game against Phoenix Mercury? Not only have they been rewarded by getting another semifinal game, all three of them, not one, not two, but three, the same exact crew, are refereeing the Indiana Fever tonight. For less than 48 hours later, because this is an afternoon game. Less than 48 hours later, the same crew that Cheryl Reeve, I'm not gonna lie, was maybe this much away from attacking. The same crew, not one of the same, not one of the same refs to move it up. The exact same 3-person ref crew. That is embarrassing. That is absolutely embarrassing. And I think it's an absolute joke. And before I give my whole opinions on that, if you guys are interested, I do have another channel set up, like a second channel. An old one I have from years ago, Mick Talks. I'm just kind of bored and just, kind of what felt like talking about this topic when I saw it. So I'm like, let's just have a channel talk about non-basketball topics. We have Mick Talks Hoops, and then we just have Mick Talks right here. I will leave a link in the pinned comment. But anyway, yeah. WNBA assigned to 3 officials it's awful. It's a bad look on the league. And I mean, I think we have even more, I'm not going to say proof, but I think there is now a situation where, not charging right there. There's a situation where it's not out of the realm possibility with this blatant, something this bad, it's not out of the realm possibility that CThe's sabotaging this league. Always, all those conspiracy theories, I hear every conspiracy theory, but I normally push back, and I'm like, oh, this isn't true. And then it gets to the stage where I'm like, I actually can't really argue this anymore. We've seen it with the whole, these people, it's like, oh, we don't like Caitlin Clark, we just hate her fans, but it's like, they literally, I mean this when I say this, they have literally turned on every single player that is in the vicinity of Caitlin Clark. It's not about Caitlin Clark. Heck, they turn on any player that's friendly with Caitlin Clark. It's scary. This never try to appease an angry mob. So that one, I was like, oh, maybe they're just, don't like the players. No, people were right. Then there was the whole Sabrina Ionescu, Caitlin Clark's highlights being shown in Sabrina for Player of the Week. And then Sabrina Ionescu winning Player of the Week. It was like Sabrina Ionescu was won with Caitlin Clark's highlight package. And I was like, oh no, maybe Caitlin Clark's Player of the Month then. No, Caitlin Clark didn't win Player of the Month either. She did win Rookie of the Month. So she was held accountable for her actions. We had those 3 bad refs who were just bad all game. Don't think they favored any team particularly. Go on ref again. I mean, they already paid him $750. They couldn't possibly fly out a new crew. I mean, they're not wrong there. We'll show her. The fix is in. If nothing else, the Fever have been the more physical team this series. If nothing else, the Indiana Fever might actually have the advantage here. But that's not the point. That is absolutely not the point. Game 3 was a badly refereed game. The Indiana Fever were more physical, so the Indiana Fever actually got the referee advantage in Game 3. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. The Fever got the referee advantage in Game 3 of the series. But it doesn't really matter because it ruined the game of basketball. The Fever basically playing where they don't really care about fouls and they're just hacking. That ruined the game. Malpractice at its finest. And this is insane. WNBA has so many leadership issues. Understand you don't want to sign the same officials to share, but there's no way this joke league put the same 3 officials together. We're going to see the worst officiating known to man. Best of luck to both teams. And I don't think these officials are unfair. I just tweeted out madness. An hour, it's 6 p.m. So an hour and a half ago, I just tweeted out madness. And this is genuinely a big FU from CThe Engelbert. Yeah. That's basically what it is. This absolutely is CThe Engelbert being we actually don't care. Our referees are good. It is CThe saying your referees are good. And I didn't even see it till somebody pointed it out with the Alyssa Thomas thing. In real time, it absolutely did not look like a foul. It looked clean. And whatever about her going through the leg, we can debate that. I didn't realize that before she got the steal, she slapped Fee's leg. She went through Fee's leg to get the steal. In real time, you couldn't see it, but in slow motion, you could. And the referees the NBA refs coming on in slow motion to defend the referees in that decision. It's embarrassing. It is embarrassing seeing referees coming on and defending referees' decisions no matter what. And I mean this when I say this. Humans can make mistakes. Humans can absolutely make mistakes, but the referees are like above the law. They're absolutely above the law. Especially when when you're a referee, whatever show where you're getting chucked out. Especially when you compound mistakes. And this is a big problem with this league, is that they compound mistakes. Like, they make one mistake and it leads to another mistake, it leads to another mistake, and suddenly the game's over. Like, referees tend to compound mistakes in these games. And it's why I hate it. Like, I used to ref, and I remember we had a referee, like, kind of person in from FIBA. And they literally said, and it was like, if a player early in a game reacts, is like, if they don't say anything, like, if they just react in the heat of the moment, then calm down. It's like, don't ever tee them up for that. Because depending on the reaction, there's a good chance that you could have made a wrong call. And the last thing you want to do is make a bad call, then tee somebody up, because in Europe, a technical foul is a personal foul, especially if it's a top player on the other team, and suddenly they're out of the game till halftime. They're like, that's you deciding to control a game because you want to compound a bad call with a bad call. And referees in these leagues compound bad calls. In this league, compounds bad calls. They will make bad call into a bad call into a bad call, and suddenly it changes everything. Like what was it? There's been so many times where I'm like, this is an offensive foul, but then they've randomly called a defensive foul on the wrong player, and suddenly that player's out of the game on fouls. Or it's a defensive foul, and suddenly it's an offensive foul gets called on a player, and it's like, this is bad. Then suddenly you tee up a coach. At least in the WNBA, a technical foul is only one free throw, and it doesn't count as a personal foul. As if tees counted as personal fouls, and the fact that these players have 6 personal fouls, which means they can be a lot more physical, because it's only 40 minutes. But at the end of the day, look, this is an embarrassing situation for the league to be in. Look, the league's just an embarrassment to sport in general. The league, the old fan base, I'm not going to say, like, it is an embarrassment to sport. Like, this league and everything surrounding this league is an embarrassment to sport. And the people that I feel bad for are the players that just want to hoop. The players that just want to hoop. And it's not just a specific small amount. Like, it is 85% of the league just want to hoop and get paid. And they're the people I feel bad for. They're the people I feel bad for. It is the 15% of players that don't care that much about basketball and care more about it being an activist league than a basketball league. And the 70% of pre-2024 fans who were only there because they have some enjoyment of sport, but it's, it's a club where they felt like they belonged, and, it was our little club. I feel bad for the 90% of the people watching the games and the 85% of players, because those 15% of players and 10% of viewers control the entire direction of this league, this commissioner. And I'm still not fully convinced that CThe Engelbert is not trying to tank this league, because the worse the viewership is from here on out in the playoffs, the better chance they have of there not being a lockout. The better the viewership in finals is, the greater chance of a lockout. That's just my theory. Anyway, I'll see you guys.